A woman lies on the ground, gazing up at someone and questioning why they are looking at her in that particular way. Someone places their hands on her chest, causing her to push them away in confusion. The person suddenly realizes and questions what is happening. In a comedic twist, a chibai man is launched into the air, only to land painfully on the ground, exclaiming, "Ouch." She coughs while sitting on the ground as the woman approaches. Confused, she questions whether she's dreaming, feeling that the dream is too realistic. Suddenly, she clutches her head in pain, exclaiming that it hurts. As memories flood her mind, she realizes that these flashes are pieces of her past. The man looks shocked as a blade seems to appear near her face. The woman confronts the man, asking why he continues to persist even though the challenge has been settled. She blushes while accusing him of pinning her down. The man, confused, claims not to know what is happening, while she incredulously questions his response. Meanwhile, a pink-haired girl shouts from a distance, telling him to give up, pointing out that his senior sister doesn't like him at all. She mocks him for losing twice and questions if he's pretending to be clueless out of embarrassment. The man angrily denies ever saying that he liked his senior sister, while the girl calls him shameless for his actions. The woman dismisses the argument, telling the junior sister that there's nothing more to say as they prepare to leave. She gracefully walks away, summoning a trail of energy as she leaves the man behind. Confused, the man tries to make sense of everything, questioning if it's all a dream while feeling the cold blade against his neck. Realizing that it's all real, the man starts coughing up blood, leaning against a tree for support as he becomes disoriented. He suddenly realizes that his name is Ning Yuan. Shocked, he starts piecing together that he may have transmigrated into the world of the game Sword Immortal Legend. He recalls the game's plot where Ning Yuan is the lead disciple and how the events might unfold, worrying about the dangerous challenges ahead based on his knowledge of the game. He laments his misfortune of being transmigrated into the body of an unlucky NPC instead of the male protagonist, Lai Zioya. He recalls how he used to skip all the NPC dialogues while playing the game, which leaves him with only a vague memory of the plot. Despite this, he reassures himself that at least he remembers the major events, giving him an advantage. As he contemplates his situation, a woman named Liao Ziu, an outer disciple of Liashui Peak, calls out to him, saying she has been looking for him everywhere. He recognizes Liao Xin, recalling her role in the game as Qin Shen's lackey, who secretly loves him. He remembers a specific plot where she takes advantage of Ning Yuan's vulnerability to extract his essence and transfer it to Qin Shen, boosting Qin's cultivation. In the present, Liao Xin calls for his help, only to fall, and as she tumbles to the ground, she blames him for not catching her. Now she demands to know how he will compensate her for her injury. He politely tells Liao Xin that men and women shouldn't touch, advising her to apply medicinal wine at home. Quickly making an excuse, he rushes away, leaving her helplessly calling after him. As he hurries back to his dormitory to gather his thoughts, Liao Xin fumes about how she'll explain her situation to senior brother Qin. Determined, she resolves to take action, refusing to go back in her current state without addressing what just happened. He reflects on his status as an outer disciple of Liashui Peak and his inability to leave the Sky Realm without a mission token. He worries about being stuck in the realm and the impending danger of being killed by Ning Yuan in half a year. Lying down, he acknowledges that Ning Yuan has already advanced to the third stage of condensing veins, while he remains at the Kai refining stage, realizing he would be powerless by the time she reaches the peak of Golden Core stage. He sighs in frustration. He resolves to leave the Sky Realm before the competition, determined to fully experience the thrilling adventures ahead. As he lays down, Liao Xin enters the room, catching him by surprise. Frustrated, he calls her a pest as she teases him, saying his senior sister will never like him. She provocatively questions why she can't be the one he's interested in, confidently stating that she's not any less attractive than the senior sister. He looks visibly uncomfortable as Liao Xin continues her advances, standing provocatively in front of him. She leans closer, offering to comfort his wounded heart. He looks shocked as a woman standing over him tells him that she likes him. Confused by his sudden feelings, he questions why he wants to get closer to her. The woman leans in seductively, claiming that even his body craves her, to which he denies with flustered embarrassment. She pushes him down, continuing her advances, while he struggles with his thoughts, hesitantly responding as his emotions grow more intense, leaving him conflicted in the moment, she urging her to hold her tight. He seems hesitant, still conflicted, when the woman smirks, feeling victorious. She leans in further, promising to take him to paradise. However, before things escalate, Ning reacts quickly, pushing her away with a burst of energy, sending her flying across the room, she crashing into the door. Screaming in shock, she lands on the floor coughing in pain. Meanwhile, he he realizes that a powerful surge of energy is coursing through his fingertips, making him question whether he has entered the world of cultivation. With newfound clarity, he exclaims that he finally understands what's happening. He processes the nature of his transformation into a demon dog, equal to a human cultivator in strength. Lio, visibly frustrated, calls junior brother he crazy for his sudden actions. She then reflects on how he Qingyang, considered weak and unable to progress in cultivation, could have hurt her despite her being at the peak of foundation establishment. He defends his actions, reminding her that he had tried to avoid touching her to protect her reputation and that she entered his room uninvited. Lio admits that she has liked him for a long time, to which he counters by questioning her use of enchantment spells on him. She is shocked that her illusion has been seen through by someone in the Kai refining stage. She panics and tries to flee, but her clothes are left behind as she stumbles out of the room, screaming in frustration. Meanwhile, He Qingyang calmly remarks that she attempted to siphon his essence to benefit her lover, accusing her of underestimating him. He further criticizes her, reminding her that he's not as naive as the original host was, while Sister Lio exclaiming that she has nothing left. He reflects on the original host's backstory, noting that the Demon Dog clan's essence blood made cultivation extremely fast. The original host didn't bother to cultivate, leaving much potential untapped. Feels proud of stopping the sin before it could grow into a bigger problem. Later, he sneaks through the forest, confirming that no one is around. Though a barrier remains from the game world, he considers that the world has changed. He decides that if he can escape, he will never look back. Suddenly, he crashes into the barrier. He falls to the ground, exclaiming "ouch," as he realizes how difficult it is to leave the Sky Realm. He then notices a woman approaching and is surprised to recognize her as Zhang Qingqing, an outer disciple of the Liushui sect and chief editor of the Sky Realm Chronicles. Zhang, looking surprised, asks if he wants to leave the mountain. He hurriedly denies it, explaining that he was merely taking a walk and sat down because he got tired. He asks Sister Zhang if she has just returned from a mission. She excitedly explains that she received a message about junior brother challenging the lead disciple of Liushui Peak, Ning Yuan. She rushed back to write about it for the Sky Realm Chronicles, confident that the new issue will be a huge hit. Surprised at how fast the news spread, she asked to provide more details so she can include it in the article before continuing her mission. He nervously laughs off the situation, claiming it was all a misunderstanding after hitting his head earlier. Zhang Qingqing teases him, questioning if he really likes Sister Ning and mentions the rumors of him being jealous of senior brother Qin. He firmly denies liking Sister Ning, explaining that he hardly sees her and doesn't have such feelings. However, Zhang playfully reminds him of a past statement where he declared that he would defeat Sister Ning in the competition and make her his wife, leaving him slightly embarrassed. She reveals that Sister Ning has received a title from the sect master and must now be addressed as Lord Yuehua. He nervously admits that he was drunk and talking nonsense the day he challenged her. Zhang teases him, asking if he has a past history with Lord Yuehua, and even offers to trade spirit stones for some gossip, she eagerly trying to extract some juicy details from him. He recalling he left some medicinal soup brewing in his dorm and excuses himself to leave. As he rushes away, his senior sister calls out, asking him to wait, telling that they should return together since they are neighbors. After realizing his error, agrees to walk with her, humorously mentioning that he must have hit his head earlier. She mentioning Xiaoyao potential and encouraging him to train diligently, promising him a future opportunity to fight Lord Yuehua. He worrying about his chances of surviving the next 6 months. His senior sister explains that the Yuehua Dream Lotus in Lord Yuehua's hand was once a prize from the sect master. She then mentions the benefits of the Solar Dragon Flame Sword for cultivation, though its whereabouts are unknown. He humbly thanks her and insists he has no interest in Sister Ning. However, his senior sister teasingly encourages him to reconcile with Lord Yuehua, as they've had many conflicts. He admits that he couldn't hide his intentions from his senior sister. She reminds him that he hasn't taken any missions yet and explains that completing 4 tasks will allow him to go down the mountain freely. He replies that he plans to visit the resource pavilion tomorrow to get a mission. However, his senior sister gives him an intense look, leaving him wondering why she is staring at him like that. She notes how he seems more proactive than before, teasing him about how he previously made excuses to avoid tasks. He internally panics, wondering if his secret of not being the original NPC has been discovered, fearing potential punishment. The sister humorously tells that it could be the power of love. He nervously laughs it off, claiming that after 2 years in the Sky Realm, he feels he can't waste any more time. They walk to the dormitory as she encourages him to resolve any past conflicts with Lord Yuehua. Someone inside a room excitedly talking about using their spring and autumn writing style to produce a successful chronicle. Meanwhile, he hears this and thinks the style doesn't sound promising. As he steps out into the evening, he decides to make plans tomorrow. Suddenly, he transferred into a white dog with red markings, realizing it might revert to its animal form at night. Panic and wondering why the transformation has to happen now. He realizes it can't speak human words and curses its bad luck. It panics knowing that cultivators in the sky realm despise demons and devils, fearing they will kill and eat it if discovered. Hungry and desperate, he starts nibbling on a cloak, only to hear a familiar voice. It's Lord Yuehua, the one it was trying to avoid. She approaches the dog, mistaking it for a spirit beast belonging to one of the junior disciples. Holding the dog in her arms, she notices it doesn't have a binding charm, realizing it's a masterless spirit beast. She then warns the dog not to trespass in the dormitory without a master. The woman decides to take pity on it, offering to bring it to her place and give it something to eat. He is tempted by the scent of Ning Yuan, enjoying his milk juges, realizing that he really wants to bite this delicious food. He realizing that absorbing some of her essence could significantly enhance its cultivation due to her jade spirit constitution. However, he quickly shakes off these thoughts, realizing it's inappropriate. Ning Yuan, unaware of the internal struggle, affectionately calls it a little puppy and offers protection. He, now embarrassed and conflicted, ponders the strange situation as Ning reassures it with a caring embrace.